Leader of the third party.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Recently, the responsibility for the Water Sustainability Act was transferred from the Ministry of Forests to the Ministry of Water, Land, Resource Stewardship. I see this as a positive step after the Ministry of Forests failed to ensure that water users across BC were properly supported to license their wells. This is only the beginning of the necessary work for creating water security in BC. Regional water tables are key to ensuring success and engaging locals in a proactive, positive, and constructive way. Of equal importance is addressing the groundwater licensing failures that has plagued this province and unnecessarily hurt farmers and small businesses. My question is to the Minister of Water, Land, Resource Stewardship. Will he commit to ensuring that the licensing of non-residential groundwater users will be reset in good faith, that staff will work to support licensing processes, and that there will be regional water tables co-led with First Nations in every region in BC?
Minister of Water, Land and Resource Stewardship.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues' understanding and recommendation of what was done recently in aligning the authorities, particularly water, within one ministry. This is something the Premier and I and others heard directly from the Cattlemen's Association, from foresters, from people in industry, from environmental groups, and particularly from First Nations, facing the unprecedented drought and the effects of climate change that we see in so many of our communities, the devastating effect. My member's specific question was with regards to water licensing. There had been an initial 3-year program that was then extended. We are working with water users around the province to make sure that the licensing is done in a good way, because as my friend would acknowledge, if we can't measure, then we can't manage. There remain some challenges that we are facing on directly. We are just doing our realignment of staffing resources right now. With respect to water tables, which was also part of the question, Mr. Speaker, we look to the Coxsala leadership and the water table that was set up there, Nicola Valley, and others around the province, where First Nations are engaging with us in a government-to-government way, setting up water tables to have those conversations, Mr. Speaker, with all of the water users within a particular water basin. That in line with the $100 million Watershed Security Fund that we established, again with First Nations partnership, paints towards the more bright future for British Columbia so that we can have those important conversations in advance of the drought conditions. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of the third party, supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I appreciate the clear response from the Minister, and glad to hear that the, in particular, licensing process will be done in a good way. The government's job is to protect people and the environment and to regulate industry. Currently, there is a shipbreaking industry emerging in this province with no clear regulatory framework attached to it. In Baines Sound, where 50% of BC's shellfish is produced, a company is actively dismantling freighters full of toxic materials. But the province has been silent about this unfolding environmental disaster and unclear on who takes responsibility. Comox First Nation and residents of the region can't get answers to which ministry is responsible for regulating and enforcing shipbreaking in this province. So it will be very helpful to get this on the record through you, Honourable Speaker, to the Minister of Water, Land, Resource Stewardship. Is his ministry responsible for regulating and enforcing shipbreaking? And if it is not his ministry, then which ministry is it?
Minister of Environment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question. I have been monitoring, as have the Environmental Protection Division, certain aspects of shipbreaking that have to do with the limited parameters of the Environmental Management Act that have to do with the release of pollutants. This is complicated. It is also the Canadian Coast Guard, as well as the federal government, that has jurisdiction over other aspects of this, and we are monitoring what is going on. We are waiting for the Canadian Coast Guard to deal with the fact that there is a ship sitting for which no breaking activity has been authorized by them. They are also saying that that ship cannot be moved. I know the MLA for the area, the Minister of Energy, Mines and Low Carbon Innovation, has met with people in the area on a number of occasions. We are continually monitoring. We are concerned, but this is a mixed jurisdiction. and we are waiting for the federal government as well as looking for any violations of our own laws in British Columbia.